week on Storyboard, we catch up with Kevin Swanpool, CEO, The One Club for Creativity, as they announce their partnership with the Curious Group, which will be the club's official representative in India. And Bisleri launches its new campaign for Republic Day. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay. The One Club for Creativity is the world's foremost non-profit organization that recognizes excellence in advertising and design. We caught up with Kevin Swanpool, CEO of this organization, and spoke to him about the business of awards. We also chatted with him about the recently announced partnership with the Curious Group, which will serve as the club's official representative in India. So, what does this partnership entail? Let's find out.
Kevin, welcome to India.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
Yeah, it's always good to see you here. So I'm going to start on a kind of negative note. The awards business is under some kind of a cloud, especially with, say, Publicis pulling out of all awards.
Right.
And then you've got Cannes, where we've got lots of people talking about they're being unhappy. Notably, right. Martin Solal has sort of gone on record as saying he's been unhappy.
Right.
So give me a sort of quick take on what's happening in the awards business itself.
I think the awards business is under a little bit of pressure, right. But I think it's going to be one where agencies and brands will be focused on sending really good work in to those shows that matter. So the return on investment of agencies submitting to shows will be paramount. And I think there will be some shows that will go away. But at this stage of the game, we're very fortunate, the One Club and the One Show, to be, one of the big three. So, for us, we're feeling comfortable and happy.
Right. One of the complaints about all these award shows from the marketer community has been these are, sort of rah-rah parties for the creative community. They have fun, they get drunk, and, they go to lovely places across the world.
Right.
What's in it for the marketer? So is that story not told well by all the awards organizers?
I think the biggest misconception is that award shows are just there for patting people on the back, and that's not entirely true. I think when we have a look at even, let's just say, Publicis pulling out of award shows, one of the biggest things we've seen is the brain drain that's happening from the agency, because there is no other outlet for creatives to be celebrated for the good work that they've done. So it's a great way to retain talent, but it's also a great way to attract talent and attract new business. So, yes, we are patting each other on the back, but I think more importantly, it's a great vehicle for this industry, one, to gauge what work is great, but to retain and attract new talent.
So what's in it for the marketer? You see, that's a question marketers often ask. And you can see it in attendance, whether it's to Cannes or to local shows or conferences. What's in it for the marketer?
I think the bottom line is that if work is truly great work that has done great for the brand, you'll want to see other agencies, and other brands want to, for instance, Droga. Suddenly they do really good work for a big brand. Other brands come knocking on their door. Yes, they won awards, it's celebrated, but the work generally is driving, good creative work is driving business.
Right. Now, the awards are one component of all the things that One Club does. There's a lot more that you do beyond awards.
Correct. Our mission at the One Club is very specific. We are here to support and celebrate the global creative community. And with that, celebrate is obviously the award side of things, but the support side for us is much more important. As a non-profit organization, we focused on education, inclusion and diversity, gender equality, and professional development.
Right. So you just expand on that. Now, one of the accusations that the advertising agency business faces is the paucity of talent or shrinking talent.
Right.
So how does One Club help in the areas of improving the talent pool, reskilling, training, and so on?
Well, we see for us, this industry is under a bit of pressure where you find the big tech companies, whether it be a Google or Facebook, either poaching talent. But we need to make this industry really appealing to the young creatives who are out there, so that when they are graduating or when they're thinking about going to college, that advertising or design is paramount and it's focused on them, and it's a really good career. So our job is to help train and educate from a very young age. We have high school programs, college programs, all the way through.
Right. Now, this particular trip to India, you've met already some of the largest creatives. You met Piyush, you met Paddy, you met Prasun Joshi. I understand you're meeting Josie, you met Sonal Dabral.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are the conversations you're having with them, and what is the sense you're getting of the advertising business in India?
I think the advertising industry here is really in an interesting point. You know, we've seen it for many years that there was like a lot of scam work being done. We now are starting to see some agencies are turning around saying we are not going to participate in that. We are going to try and, you know, just compete on a global stage with real work. We're seeing really good work coming out of India. For the last couple of years, I think the quality and the level of work is really world class, and I think we're going to continue to see that. I think with the pressure from brands not to just do award-winning work, but to do good work that, you know, is valuable for the brand, is key, and that's been echoed throughout the agencies.
Right. Do you get a sense that you're going to see an increased number of award entries from the Indian agencies, or you find it difficult to say, or what would you say?
It's hard to say right now. We are about 2 weeks away from the deadline, and usually the most entries come in the last 2 weeks. We're on track to do pretty well this year. We are down a few percent, but that's predominantly due to Publicis not competing on the awards this year. But we're on track to beat last year, even based on Publicis withdrawal.
Right. Now, Kevin, you're here in India with Tony, and you know.
You mean Uncle Tony?
Uncle Tony, yes, Uncle Tony, absolutely. And two of you are here also to finalize a relationship with Curious.
Yes.
So tell us about the headline of the relationship, and then give me some details on what the One Club and Curious will do together in India.
Again, you know, with our mission at the One Club to be here for the industry, to celebrate it, but also support it, one of the components that Curious Awards was really interested in is the additional programs that we could bring to India to help elevate the young creative industry and help educate, help with professional development, and help with gender equality. Now these are three parts of what we do, which is really dear to us. And I think that the One Club and its initiatives could really help both Curious, help the industry, you know,
right.
Because I think, you know, both organizations are founded on how can we build and celebrate, but also make the industry better.
Right. You know, you're a globetrotter, you and Uncle Tony. Try and give me a global sense of what's happening to this industry in terms of competition. Because years ago, you know, you had the network agencies competing with other network agencies. Right. Now you've got agencies competing with tech companies. You've got agencies competing with with consultants. Right. So, what's your sense of where that's headed?
You know, I think as creatives, we are in a very, very interesting place. It's very challenging, but at the same time, I think it's pretty exciting. So, what I mean by that is, it's challenging because yes, we are seeing in-house agencies taking a bit of the work, and we're seeing consultancies, whether it be Deloitte or Accenture, either buying up agencies. We've seen networks also buying up other agencies. But at the same time, we've seen some key individuals from big networks breaking out, forming their own independent agencies. I think we at the stage where people are wanting to try and bring about change. They're wanting to accept and embrace the new models where agencies are doing a lot more project work and not as much agency or record work. So the agencies have to be more nimble in order to survive today. So if you're just handing out project work, you can't build up a massive team and have them on ready for a project that might come in on an agency or record basis. So what you're seeing is smaller, nimble agencies that also want to stand for the culture of the individual that has established them. You know, when you see whether it be a Jerry Graff or a prominent creative break off, and form an agency, they do it with one mission in mind. You know, what is their philosophy about the industry and how they approach it? And that's what's key, is a lot of these young independent agencies get bigger, the big networks will gobble them up, and then they start losing that agency culture that was initially established. So it's a cycle.
This also means more complications for the marketer. Earlier, for him to choose a communications partner was fairly simple, especially for the large brands. Now they've got to go shopping again. They've got to figure out, is it an agency, is it another agency, is it one of the consultants, is it a tech company, who do they partner? And there's so much more to choose from. So what would you advise the marketer? How does he go about navigating this minefield?
I think what's going to boil down to is what is the marketer's end goal? You know, what might the piece of communication require? Right now, you're going to get specialists that might be specializing, let's just say, in social media or digital. And there's certain agencies more adept to doing work in that medium. So although it's more difficult for brands to be able to pinpoint the agency that they want, or the communication company they want, the beauty of it is that they can actually pinpoint somebody who's very, very targeted at that specific medium. The real problem, a brand wanting to have a very integrated campaign around either a product or the brand, if they start to fragment their agency group by having 3 or 4 different partners do different media, the campaign tends to be pretty fragmented. So, you know, even with the brands, it's a huge challenge nowadays. Do you want to go for that sort of global campaign around a product and build on that branding, or are you going to hand out the piecemeal bit of project work?
Finally, I'm going to ask you, there's a trip to India you made after a long time, you and Tony both.
Yes.
So what is the difference between the India you last saw and the India you saw today?
Well, we were here 2 years last, and I must say that in this 2 years, the industry is changing dramatically. And we've seen this last year a number of Indian agencies do extremely well in the one show, and I think we're going to see more of that. And I think we're at a point where Indian creativity is just about to blow out of it. I think when you see some of these small independent shops, they're doing really, really well and great work. The big networks, some of them are, you know, incredibly, I don't want to name names,
no.
but some of them are, you know, incredibly grounded and focused on the work that they're doing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Sure.
And all the best, and look forward to having you back in India.
Yes, we'll be back soon.
Thank you.
Great.
It's time for us to take a break on Storyboard, but when we come back, we'll get chatting with Anurag Khandelwal of Soho Square and Anjana Ghosh of Bisleri to find out more about Bisleri's new campaign.